Hey everyone, Ittarra Oda here, bringing you another beginner guide to Warframe, or Warframe 101 as I have deemed this series. Now, I got a comment from somebody named Sejinra. I hope I didn't butcher your name too bad, I apologize if I do. His comment, or her comment, said, can you do a beginner guide weapons? Maybe like your top 5 pick to start off with to get for primary, secondary, melee, along with a brief explanation to why you choose those. And at the end of the vid, with what weapons you should keep your eyes on when you hit endgame, so beginners like me can plan ahead to save mats. I'll put the comment right here so you guys can see. Now, just a disclaimer, I'm going to start off with Mastery Rank 1 through 4 weapons that I believe they are, because my Mastery Rank is high enough that I have everything unlocked. So I will end up actually doing it this way. If something is maybe around 5 or so, I apologize in advance, and I will be going through blueprints in the
Ordis has been
market
counting stars,
only. And the
operator.
reason for that
All
is just so
accounted
that
for.
way you don't have to join a clan. There's no trade chat. There's nothing you have to go through. This is just straight into the point. All right. Now, for the first thing I can say right off the bat is my number one pick for starting off frame is the Latron. Now, you might be wondering why. The Latron has a great deal more damage that can be actually done than a Bratton MK1 Parasaur, your beginner weapons that you start off with. Also, the actual needs for it are relatively easy. You get plastids from about the third planet, which you get from Saturn. Salvage you find on the second planet, same as alloy plate, and Morphix can be found immediately in Mercury. And the 20,000 credits comes relatively easy. Altogether, you're looking about 35,000 credits. It's not a lot, trust me. All you have to do is just do one Dark Sector defense twice, and you will end up getting everything. Now, 5 Morphics, that might seem a little bit tedious to you, but believe it or not, Morphics are actually a relatively common drop if you go to Mercury, the first survival mission, and also in Mars. Mars, Morphix drops relatively easily. Now, the reason why I say the Latron is amazing at beginner levels is because it has amazing puncture damage as well as a very decent clip, good status, and good crit chance. Also, it's a very precise marksman rifle. So you don't have to worry about too much when it comes down to medium, long range, or even short range, because you can hip fire this bastard like it's going out of style. Now, the reason why this is number one is because this gun evolves into another gun. Now, the Latron evolves into the Tiburon, which is essentially its big brother. The reason why this is better than the Latron is, first of all, as you can see, the damage is quite better. Yes, the crit chance and crit multiplier goes down. However, you use this gun as a tri-burst Latron, and this will serve you immensely well. Now, the actual parts for it, the only difficult part about it is the Forma. That's it, but the Forma drops from the Void relatively easily. And also, there are Forma blueprints, and if you have the Platinum, you can just buy it straight from the actual market for 20 plat. So, either way, you're going to actually be ahead of the game in this sense. Alright? Now, number 2 for primaries that I would like to point out would be, let's see here, it would be the Heck. Now, this gun is devastating. You unlock it at Rank Mastery 4, which is insane. And here's the reason why it's insane. Here are its stats. It only has 4 in the magazine, so you have to make your shots count. It has a crit chance of 10 and a status chance of 25%. So even without a mod, you're inflicting massive amounts of damage and statuses to be had. Now, the only tedious part about this is getting neurodes. Now, I know a place where you can actually get neurodes relatively well and relatively easily. Neurodes drop on Earth as well as another planet, but the thing is hang on, let me go over to navigation. When you're trying to harvest neurodes, you would want to farm, go to Earth, and use the Mariana sector. The reason why for this is a sabotage mission. Now this doesn't apply to every sabotage mission, but it's mostly just for Grenier. If you go to the Mariana sector for a sabotage mission, you actually can end up fighting rare Grenier caches that have a chance to drop extra neurodes. Every time I run this, every second or third run, I walk away with 2 neurodes at the least because they identify as their drops from the Oregon caches. Alright, now, back to the market. Weapons. Primaries. Now, the reason why the Heck is it's personally my favorite shotgun in the entire game. I have gotten this at Rank Mastery 4, and it's held me over until endgame. This is your first endgame weapon, official endgame weapon. And the reason for this is there's 2 mods that coincide with it. One from Steel Meridian, which I will show you right now. Hang on, let me go over here real quick. It's called
Here's
Scattered
what we can
Justice.
do for you.
200% multi-shot. And this coincides with Hell's Chamber, which is another 120. So you're dealing 320% multi-shot. Now, what that means is, when you use the multi-shot mods, that means that you're doing X amount of extra bullet pellets, or what have you. The Heck fires 8 pellets. You times that by 2, it's 16. Add another 120 on top of that, you're firing roughly around 24 pellets at a single time, each trigger pull, and that's per thing. And you can get the status all the way up to 98.4%. It's an amazing put-down weapon for anything. Even on sorties where you're facing level 100 enemies, I can still 2-shot with the Heck. That gives you the idea of what kind of power there is. Now, for another good primary, let's see here. I believe that the comb unlocks a little bit. Ooh, yeah, that's not a good one. That's way too much. Let's see here. What about the Ruby Code? How was that for? Okay, the Ruby Code. It's a great sniper rifle. I'm not sure what mastery rank it unlocks. Again, I apologize for that. But the reason why this Ruby Code is actually really good is because you only need 2 mods to make it something actually remarkable. You need Point Strike, which will up the crit chance from 25% to 75%, and Vital Sense. Maxed out Vital Sense on the Rubico will give it I think it's a 6.0 crit multiplier or more, 6.4 or something like that. And the only difficult thing about this is the Argon Crystal. Argon Crystals are the rare resource that drop from the Void. It doesn't matter what mission you do, it will drop from the Void. So keep your eyes open for that. And also, anybody that's actually wondering, when's the right time to go for the Void and everything else, when's the right time for it? If you get a Tower 1 key, okay, you can go there nearly immediately. If you're actually competent in being able to actually take it nice and slow and just kind of coast through and everything else, go at your own pace. You can actually do this relatively well and relatively easily because they're 10s to 20s and 10s to 15s. If you can get a Tower 1 Exterminate or Captures, I suggest that's your best shot because of the fact that the enemies are naturally lower and they're easier to kill. Okay, that'll do it for primaries. Now, on to secondaries. Now, it took me a while to actually find a couple of good secondaries here because, to be perfectly honest, the secondaries are kind of lacking, in my honest opinion. They really are.
Tenno,
All right.
the balance of power continues to shift. Navigation is marked with new invasions.
The Kraken. Not because of the gun, but because of what it can turn into. The Kraken itself is a horrible piece of garbage. Literally, you would have to pay. It's like a person would have to pay me to take it off their hands. That's how bad it is. But the reason why you want this weapon immediately is because it turns into this monster, the Coal Star. Yes, I will not deny it. This is a very expensive and labor-intensive weapon. However, it is beyond worth it. Only because of the fact that the multi-shot mods for pistols will actually coincide with this. So you're going to be firing a volley of 5 rockets, but when you have the multi-shot mod on it, it doubles or triples the clusters that fall from it. Tellurium is an extremely rare resource. However, with the new changes, they have actually made it relatively easier to get. Cryotic, you get from any excavation mission. You get 100 at a single time. It might sound very tedious, but again, if you need to actually harvest cryotic or neurodes or anything of that nature, Earth has you covered, because Earth not only has a sabotage mission, which is good for rare resources, it also has a low-level excavation mission, so you're fine either way. Again, don't push it. Let it happen naturally. You don't have to grind for it. Just play the game normally, and you'll end up getting it in the long run. Whoops, that's skins. Alright, now, the next thing I can say that will hold you over relatively well is the Bronco. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but it's a very relatively cheap, again, Neurodes. Jesus Christ, what is with all the Neurodes? Ferrite, polymer, alloy, all very simple, all very basic needs, Neurodes, and so on and so forth. You want 2 of these, so you can make the AK Bronco. Now, you might be wondering, why is it that you would want the AK Bronco over that? Well, the simple fact of the matter is you get double the capacity. Instead of it being 2 shots, it's 4 shots, so you can literally just and be done with it. The other thing is it's a handheld shotgun, so you'll end up actually being able to fire multiple pellets with, again, split chamber, multi-shot, and that's pretty much it for the Broncos. Once you actually end up getting to, let's say, able to make the Lex Prime from the Void and stuff like that, once you end up actually making the Lex Prime and so on and so forth, secondaries become a lot better. Now, the other one that I've actually just recently discovered and fell in love with is the Magnus. Now, the Magnus itself, the Orokin cells can be a pain. They really can. Okay? But they're not too bad. All you need is a resource drop chance, and you'll be golden. You can buy that right away when you first start the game. Just so you know, a resource drop chance makes it actually relatively easier for you to get Orokin cells, Neurodes, any type of green resource, including Tellurium. But we'll go over that in just a second. The reason why the Magnus in of itself it caught my attention is because of its crit chance and status chance. A 20% base chance is amazing on any weapon, let alone having it elsewhere. And if you get 2 of them, you can turn into the AK Magnus that has a 25-25 instead of just 20. Now, what that means is, well, as it sounds, that's exactly what it is. 2 things, 2 Magnuses and double the fun. So that means that you're pulling the trigger less and getting more kills. I have actually only formed the AK Magnus once, and it's great for endgame. That's astounding to me. So it's really worth the investment. Now, we're going on to melee weapons because this is actually what started me off properly in Warframe. Dual Zorin, one of the best and most slept over melees in the entire game. I kid you not. I only recently got rid of my dual Zorins. These twin axes have been with me since I first started this game, roughly about a year and a half ago. Now, the reason why is because Morphix, Salvage, Ferrite, Alloy, and just a little bit more credits than usual. But here's the reason why this is such a great weapon. The crit chance and crit multiplier. It is astounding to have a melee weapon able to do 25% chance to crit with a 3.0 multiplier. Now, the reason why I say this is an amazing starter weapon, as well as an amazing weapon in general, is because of its spin attack. Now, if you can master the spin attack, you master this weapon, and this weapon becomes your next crutch, as it were. It gets you out of everything. Because the attack speed maxes out at 1.5. Literally, you just go on crack. And the crit chance in of itself makes for an amazing anything. If you build this, which is crit chance and crit damage, which are both common mod drops, they're bronze mod drops, then you have a 75% chance to crit with a 6.4 multiplier. Every time you swing or every time you spin, if there's 2 enemies, one of them's getting crit for roughly 10,000 damage, and that is not an exaggeration. It's pretty insane. Now, the one that actually one-ups it is the dual cleavers. If you can... little side note here about the dual cleavers. There is a weapon in-game called Prisma dual cleavers that come from the trader that visits relays. If you can find them, or if you can actually get them when he is here, that'll serve you all the better, because the Prisma Dual Cleavers actually make up for where the Dual Cleavers here fall short. The Dual Cleavers in of themselves look exactly the same, except it's higher base stats, higher status, crit chance, and crit multiplier. The only problem with it is the attack speed is less than 1. Hang on, let me get rid of this freaking thing. There you go. Alright. The crit multiplier and the crit chance are pretty astounding. It's the same as the Dual Zorin, except it swings a little bit slower. But the Steel Meridian have this mod.
Anything you need, Tenno.
Justice Blades. It doubles the attack of the Dual Cleavers. Slap the Fury mod on, which again is a pretty common drop. Fury mod increases the attack speed. Slap this bad boy on, and then slap, crit chance and crit damage, and you have something that overtakes the Dual Zorins. I believe the Dual Cleavers become unlocked at rank Mastery 4, I believe. I believe that's what it is.